what caused it to take off?
This didn't capture the launch because I launched a little bit over 30 days, but for the whole year, I'm at 54.
Wow, yeah, that's awesome.
During my launch, my kids were at school, they got sick, and I go pick them up, and then I just didn't work or anything. And then I'm looking at my sales, and it's like, oh man, this is awesome. Like, I'm spending time with my kids, I get to kind of take care of them. And then, like, sales came in, you didn't do anything. And then, well, it didn't do anything, but like, didn't have to worry about it in a way. And then you're still generating income. And that was a good feeling to have, to be honest with you.
Welcome back, friends, and welcome back, SHIFU Warrior. In today's video, I would love to share with you another inspirational story from one of our students. His name is Lewis. He is a 9-to-5 worker. He was working day and night, and he barely have time for his children. And same with his family. And he knows that right now, at his mid-age, he needs to have a change. Otherwise, his children would not going to be little. His parents going to get older, and eventually he's going to run out of time with his family. And that's why he started his Amazon FBA journey with SHIFU mentorship program. And fast forward now, he able to reap the fruit of his work. And I do want to make a disclaimer that everything like Amazon FBA Autopilot is a legitimate business. You have to put in the input before you get the output, just like any other legitimate business. However, when you partner with Amazon FBA, which is fulfilled by Amazon, Amazon able to do most of the legwork for you, from store the product in their warehouse, ship the product to the customer, and handling customer service. So that all you gotta do is just make sure that you do the right marketing, build the right brand, and eventually you are looking at building a cash flow brand with the enterprise value that you can sell over time. And before we dive into today's topic, where we're going to be open the curtain to show you guys a lot of insight from people that actually walk the walk with the Amazon FBA private label business. And at the same time, there's going to be a lot of actionable advice and tutorial and step that you will be able to take so that you can start implementing right away in your business. Before we dive into it, I do want to share with you my credibility before we start talking about this topic, because I know that there's so many gurus out there that are trying to scam you out of money, and they do not walk the walk while they're trying to preach. So I'm going to share with you one of my story here. One of my business doing about $940,000 for the last 12 months. And let me show you another one that I have done. This one is another recent store. This one have done about $403,000. And as I'm talking to you right now, the sales about $1,200. And why I share this is not a flex, okay? I was blessed to be able to build not just one, but multiple brands on Amazon. And this game is really, once you get a hang of it, it's just like driving a car. Once you get a hang of driving the car, the second car, the third car, it's just going to get easier for you. And I want to give my success credit to my mentor, Charlie, my mentor, Josh, now, and so many other great mentor in my life that are able to help me to get there. And that's why my mission of this channel is to gather all the good knowledge and give it forward to you guys, so that you guys will be able to learn and have the right mentor, so that you can start building the success for your future self. Make yourself proud, make your children proud, and make your parents proud, okay? And if you are new here, my name is Justin. I've been selling on Amazon for over the past 7 years. I'm able to build and sell a couple of brands, and I'm also an investor. Right now, with AI are taking a lot of jobs. The next 5 years, we are looking at a lot of jobs going to be replaced by AI. So it's always good for you to start building something that you know for sure is going to be in your control. And the best bet is always starting your business. And one of the quotes that I want to share with you is, the best time to plant a tree was 10 years ago, and the second best time is today. Right now, 2025, already 2 months in, and we're going to approaching March soon, so let's take action. And I do want to invite you guys to join my live workshop that I host with my mentor, Charlie. Click down the link in the video description, where we share with you the actionable advice step by step, so that you can learn how to become your own boss in 2025. All right. So the purpose of the call today, first of all, we do want to congratulate you on your recent launch. And we consider it as a successful launch because you put in a lot of work and a lot of effort that go into your end also. And that's number one. Number two is we're going to see where you are on the journey. How was your process prior to launching, and how are you doing after launching? And my mentor, Charlie, so I invite him on here so that he can give you direction and guidance, so that you can start preparation on having a solid foundation before you start scaling. Just like any rocket. If you want to launch a very successful rocket launch into the orbit, you need to have a solid foundation. And that's why sustainability got to be the goal for you prior to scaling furthermore. It's a pleasure to have my mentor Charlie on here. He do want to join and congratulate you. And also, this meeting will be recorded because we do love to share this with other students who want to find success, inspiration from your story.
Congratulations, Lewis, man. You've done an awesome job, man. A lot of people, it's hard for a lot of people to go through this journey without any obstacle that stops them from doing like that. A lot of it is their mind that
Yeah.
stops them from pushing forward. And you got it. You got a good mindset on your shoulder right now. You got strength from the community, strength from us, man. And you just went through. So it's really awesome. I just want to say we're proud of you for that. Okay, Lewis. So.
Yeah, thank you, man. No, I agree with you. I think the community is what drives like me, and I try and do the same thing, kind of help out the community. Right? I think the people there are on the same path. I think us motivating each other really pushes forward.
Awesome. So, Lewis, tell her a little bit more about how was your Prime Day?
Oh man,
Excited.
I didn't get to participate in it. I sold out before, so I'm outside watching it and rooting for the community, the team here. But I guess I look at it in a different way. I'm like, I'm glad I didn't have to discount my product in a way. But yeah, I had a good velocity going in, but it sucks because I was sold out. But I'm grateful for being sold out. Right, I'd be in the opposite position, trying to get rid of getting my products out as well. So I'll be sure to stock up and participate in the next Prime Day.
Yeah, definitely. And also because we do have the holiday season coming in, and usually is the stock level, like the sell velocity, usually double as the holiday season. So it's just making sure that you are prepared because sometimes running out of stock can be more detrimental to your business than to have overstock because you buy your product at the rock bottom price already. So it's really there's no lower bottom except marketing. You need to be learning wiser to be your marketing. And I know that you have do a lot of research and master so far about your PPC, right?
Yeah, I did a lot of PPC research prior to going in. So that helped. I'm sure helped on spend. But I agree with you. I think one of the lessons I learned is, well, I don't want to be out of stock. It kind of sucks because you built that velocity up, and then now you see your ranking go down while you're waiting to be in stock. So definitely one of the goals now is just to make sure I have the capital to feed the business, make sure that I continue stay in stock and continue to build that velocity and momentum. Kind of sucks because every time I'm looking at my ranking, it's going down, but you build up like to the top 100, and now you're seeing you slowly go down because you don't have any sales.
Hey, no worry, man.
Yeah.
That's the part of the Amazon journey. How much revenue generated?
Year to date, I have over 50,000, and I generate like 52,000 in like less than a month, and then I sold out.
Wow.
So yeah,
Wow.
so it's pretty awesome to see because I couldn't imagine myself hitting that like maybe down 6 months down the road. I would have been happy, but seeing that is just like, okay, so now I got this. Now I got to prepare and kind of see where my plan is ahead, right? Kind of see the game plan for the next 6 months to a year and make sure that I'm not sold out because I can't imagine what my revenue would be. I was in stock, right? So it's kind of crazy to see, but the proof of concept is there. It's a good launch. Now it's just how do I plan to keep it successful, build the momentum, and that's not even advertising outside. So there's a lot of things that you can do to improve the business, but I got to scale now just to make sure I have inventory to be able to do that.
Absolutely.
Oh, I was wondering what was the obstacle that you faced, like that helped, like that you faced, but then you were able to overcome because a lot of people get stuck. What were some of the obstacles that you had?
But well, to be honest with you, there's all about mindset, right? Once I joined and you go in this community where everybody's like-minded and it's the unknown. I think that's where I think a lot of people stop. And there's a lot of parts during the journey where it's like, how do I do this? How do I do that? And it's mentally overwhelming because you don't know what to do. And that's where I think those challenges happen. And then that's where you generally would stop or kind of give up or kind of delay. For me, it's like, okay, I'm in this, I'm going to go through it and just kind of mentally break it down one by one. Like, hey, you don't have to worry about everything else. Just what do you need to do today? And then kind of knock that out. And then, okay, a little bit of weight off your shoulder. And then you can kind of move forward and work on the next task, right? And then it gets lighter as you kind of attack each one. And I think that's what helped me move forward because now you look back, it wasn't that bad. But like in your mind, when you have so many things you don't know how to do, you feel like you have no help. And I think that's where the community jumped in and helps as well, right? Talking with your team. But the mental aspect of it played a key role in it is because, you look at the outcome, you get there, but then the hard work is the most challenging. The things I don't know how to do, the things I got to learn, the research and things like that. But I write it down on a list. I see, okay, what am I going to knock out today? Just one, right? And then I think that helps out. But when you think of collectively as a whole, like I have so many things to do to get there, it's like, I don't know if I want to do it. And life happens with kids and all that. It just, but yeah, like I think you got to have the right mindset, kind of just do one thing at a time. That's all it takes. Just do one thing. Right. And then I think that makes it a little bit more manageable. Then
That's right.
yeah. And writing it down is key for me too, because like if you don't write it down, it's in your head all the time. Right. And it just overwhelms you because I'm with my kids and I'm like, oh my God, I got like 5 things to do. Right. And then you keep thinking about it and it takes you away from your family. Attack it. But right now I'm with my kids or whatever. And you kind of focus on them. Right. It sucks because when you work and my job, it's like the same thing, like the stress. You look at your phone all the time, you check your emails and you're not engaged. But I think you got to be organized in your thoughts too. And I think that helps out a lot.
Oh, that's really awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that. That's definitely a great tip that we're going to definitely share.
Yeah.
So,
I share with a lot of the people here too in the community because they feel overwhelmed too. I'm like, hey, just focus on one thing right now. Just get brand registry done. That's it. Just get one thing done and then you'll be okay. But I can definitely see why a lot of people don't go through it. It's because you attack something that you don't really experience in or know, and then you kind of give up. And I can see that happening if I didn't have this community, to be honest with you. Like I probably wouldn't have launched it.
what is how do you feel now versus when you first started? How do you feel like your own personal growth? How do you feel your own personal growth from when you started till now?
And like to hit that 15K mark, right, is like what I wanted to hit. Like I'm like, all right, that's my goal. Sell 15K in revenue, maybe the first 3 months per month. That would have been like a success for me, right? Like, okay, 6 months down the road, if I can generate 15K, 20K revenue a month in sales, that'll be awesome. I think what hit me is when during my launch, my kids were at school, they got sick, and I go pick them up, and then I just didn't work or anything. And then I'm looking at my sales and it's like, oh man, this is awesome. I'm spending time with my kids. I get to kind of take care of them. And then sales came in, like didn't have to worry about it in a way. And then you're still generating income. And that was a good feeling to have, to be honest with you.
That's really awesome, man, because I remember when I made my first sale and I was like, oh my God, like this is crazy, right? It's like, oh my God, like, man, this is insane. People buying this stuff. Like, I didn't have to do anything. So
yeah, you did all the
really
legwork up front, right? And then you're like just sitting back like, oh man, I'm just spending time with my kids, and then I made up as much as I would have made, like, or a little close to what I would have made in a day for work, right? My mind was blown by like minimal effort for the weekend.
What was your situation like before you joined the program? What were you doing, or what were you thinking about? Like
8 years ago, my son. Fast forward to now, I have 3 kids, right? So my oldest son is 8. Ever since I left college, I always worked. Right. Like I never was jobless. I had grinded it out and that was totally fine until you have kids. And then now I have 3. And then you kind of be like, man, like all day, like, and obviously our career continues to grow and then your time gets sucked away. I noticed my focus on them was less because my stress was with work. Like I'm always on the phone. I'm managing people, alarms on and all that. And I didn't want to live that life, to be honest with you. Like it's just stressful, right? And then for me, it's like I'm not focused on my kids. And next thing, fast forward, I can be old and then miss out on their growth, right? So I always were interested in selling on Amazon. It just never took the leap until I saw you guys on Instagram and things like that. And kind of, all right, you guys are enemy brothers and things like that. So I can relate a little bit more to this community. And then I took the jump to kind of jump into it. But really, it's for my kid. My folks with work and my wife and I we're just so deep into work for the full day. And then we get to spend time with them a little bit at the end of the day and they go to sleep and then you repeat. And it's just the same cycle all the time. So definitely want to kind of free up my time. I get a little bit more time with it. And it's been awesome to do that and kind of get a little bit of a taste of it, right? Just since launch. So that was kind of nice. So it is an addicting feeling too, to be able to kind of be like spending time on the weekend, getting some time with them and kind of imagining like, hey, this could be something that is permanent, right? Like if I could build this business and continue to grow it and then be able to maintain it, it's something that I want to free up some time and spend time with my family. So that was the driving factor in why I wanted to join and why I'm like super focused and now even more, right? Like I want this to be successful.
Awesome. No, a lot of it is for my kids who spend
kids. I saw a different perspective when you have kids, you're like kind of shift focus on what you want more on on yourself and then it's all on them, right? So
Mhm.
definitely nice to get some time with them and whatnot. So the ultimate goal is really just to free up time and focus on them.
What was your
Yeah,
biggest fear and hesitation when you first started off?
I think with everybody in this community and myself, it's all about the fear is just like the failure, right? Failing and putting a lot of capital and income and investment in something that you're not sure about, the unknown territory of e-commerce, right? Because we're going into this not know a lot, right? We're hoping for the end goal, but yeah, that was the fear. Like, will I be successful? Can I do this? Those are things that, and especially with a family too, right? Like, risk tolerance is a little bit less because I'm investing in a lot of what we were saving into this. Obviously, talked with my wife. She's like, "Yeah, I trust you. What can happen, right? You can learn, right? Both of us can learn. I can fail and then learn from it and do better. What can possibly go wrong if you keep doing it?" And that's the mindset you have, right? You fail when you give up. So that's what we're like, hey, let's just give it a try. I mean, if we fail, like, hey, it's just an investment, right? We can build back up and continue to try. So that was probably the biggest one. And I think a lot of the mentees here share the same things like, hey, what if I fail? You got to take the risk to get the reward.
No, that's really awesome, man. A supportive wife is really important in this journey. A supportive person. Like it's really hard to do things on your own and you don't have anybody to reach out to and be like, "Hey, man, you can do it. You got it." That's what's needed, right? And dude, and we try to give that all to the community, and we tell people like just speak life into each other. Like it's okay. We all go through
Yeah.
struggles.
My wife, like, I didn't even really like. She's like, "Why are you always up late at night now?" I'm like, "Dude, I gotta talk to Supplier." But like, she okay, okay. Like, she didn't ask. She doesn't ask too much. But then I'm like, yeah, I've been spending like a night because it's easier to talk with suppliers, things like that. But like now, it's like a little bit less frequent. But she totally understands, and you're right. Like the support, and I didn't really share with like my parents or anything yet. It's just my wife and I, right? And I just share with her for now, and then, but yeah, having that support and having that that kind of understanding of where we're on the same page really helps out a lot.
So, what is something that you thought that was very helpful for you on your journey to get you through struggle or the challenges to get you to where you are now?
At the beginning of the program, I was just more heads down, kind of look at the module and do it on my own. And I think once I started reaching out and connecting with people in the community, it helps kind of my journey because everybody's like
Mhm.
helping each other and driving each other to do that and learning tips here and there and kind of share that helps out a lot. Because I connected with a lot of people in the community. Without them, I'll be just more disconnected and more frustrated, but be able to share the journey together and work together, I think really helps me out a lot. And that's what I recommend everybody doing when they are when I connect with them. Like, hey, ask me any questions and connect with people. Right? Everybody's willing to help. Everybody's wants the same things. So, and I learn a lot from other people too. Right? So I continue to share that knowledge with other people as well. So then I think before that, if I didn't connect with anybody, it was kind of like I'm on in it alone. I had that feeling like, oh man, this is kind of sucks at the beginning. But when you start doing it together,
Do you have like a core group of people that you talk to?
yeah, we have a good core of people now that I talk to, and working with people who started after me too, right? And I want to help them as well. At the end of the day, we're on the same path, just different stages. But yeah, I do have a core of people where we kind of connect with, kind of talk about strategies and things like that. Because there's people who are already further ahead of me, or some people are in the same stage as me, so it helps out to be able to kind of throw out ideas and share knowledge. So it helps out.
Was our team very helpful?
Yeah,
The trainers,
yeah,
how helpful were
absolutely.
they?
I think at the beginning I connected with Min, and for him to connect with me before I even signed up was pretty helpful. Then I go to a couple of your motivational speeches. It sucks because like I'm Pacific time, right? So during that time I'm trying to get the kids ready for stuff. So it's so hard to get to yours. Han and everybody's been Susan, especially was connecting. Everybody brings a different taste to the table, kind of like a knowledge and sharing, kind of be able to kind of see where they're at and get their tips and ideas really helps out a lot.
How long did it take for you to find your first product?
I think about a month, maybe a month and a half. And that was
Oh,
probably
wow.
one of the most frustrating and not fun part of the journey is just finding products, a winning product. Because it seems like everything you find is like someone already got it or so many people already, it's very competitive already. But yeah, about a month and a half.
What was one of the challenges that you faced when you were looking for the winning product?
I think it's just more of the ideas like what am I searching for, right? At first you kind of naturally start out with products that you like, but then you end up looking at it like it's already super competitive, right? So then you kind of have to branch out and kind of look for different paths to find that product. So I kind of just did a random like, hey, I'm just gonna search through Supplier's catalog, for instance. I did like a different like that path, like what's the new item that they're offering, whatever, and I kind of found it on Alibaba, and then I reversed it and did the research on Amazon to see if it's something that would work, right? toughest challenging part is the product research for me. But I spent a lot of time on it. Like I was like maybe a couple hours a day at the beginning, and then kind of took a break, took like maybe a week break, and then come back to it. It was probably the most frustrating part of the journey, to be honest with you.
So how helpful was our hands-on training or hands-on support on a weekly basis towards helping you find your winning product?
The module and the classes does give us a good baseline on where to start, right? How to use the tools and things like that. But at the end of the day, I think without that knowledge, I don't think I have like a baseline to start, right? So that's a very good place to begin with. I kind of branched off on my own to see different methods, because for me, I was like, I keep doing the same thing. And it's just more of the ideas in your head, like trying to jump into a product that you might not know. And I think that's the key, is you got to open up your mind to finding a product that you might not even know anything about. I think I was I'm more focused on things that I know about. So my product is something I would never imagine that I would get into, right? Right. And then that's what I told everybody, like, hey, naturally I was looking at things that I like, but the things that I like are like just everybody selling it, right? So kind of find something that outside of your norm that you would not buy, and then that's something that you would find the niche for to be able to be successful.
So how long did it take you to find that first supplier, manufacturer? How long did that take you?
Oh man, I went on Alibaba and I fired through like so many suppliers, man. They chat when you try and get your sale. I think within a week or two, I was able to connect with quite a few to send me samples. And then after I got the samples, I picked the product, but I think mostly because I connected with a person who was able to respond quickly for me, provide good customer service. I think I'm fortunate to find someone who's able to speak English really well, because he went, like, one other person went to Oregon in college and whatnot. So that helped out a lot. So, but what you guys taught was build a relationship. I think that was key, for the kind of connect with them, ask them how they're doing, stay connected, even though there's nothing to do. I think that helps out, because now they're prioritizing my product. They're helping out doing most of the legwork. So yeah, I think I'm fortunate to connect with the supplier that I have. The relationship that I have with them, like, I speak with them like almost daily, because I just want to make sure that, hey, I appreciate you, right? Like you, because without him, like I have no connection or no product, right? So definitely that is something that I agree with, and then I work towards, because I know relationship over there with the support is very key.
Absolutely. I think that strategy that you have is probably one of the most important out of the whole conversation with suppliers, is the relationship. People think that you can just like, hey, back and forth, transactional. Relationship is what keeps things going a long time. So how much was your first investment?
So my first order was, I think, 15,000, because my product has variations, right? I know, like, one of the things the class here taught was not like you guys stray away from doing variations because it is kind of challenging. But for me, I was kind of thinking, like, if I don't sell a variation, I'm not capturing a certain consumer, right? Because for me, there's different variations. So I'm like, okay, maybe I did my research trying to find the variations that are the most popular, obviously. And then I went with 2. But now I'm at 4. But I want to sell the main ones are two variations. That's my initial investment. So those are the top sellers, and then I sold out of them in less than 3 weeks. So
awesome. That's really awesome. Hey man, keep going, right?
It's crazy, man, but it's definitely going to continue to feed the business, and that's what's key. We'll enjoy it later, but right now I gotta continue to stay in stock. So that's what I'm focused on.
Double down, right?
Yeah.
Your listing creation process, was there anything that was helpful with using our strategies, or any type of marketing tactics that we suggested? Was anything that helped you, like, pretty much help your listing stand out?
Yeah, I mean, I use Susan, right? She provided me, and especially it's great to have her, only because she went through the program as well, so she kind of understand what the methods and things that were taught in here. So she actually pretty much connected with me, asked me about the product, and she kind of took lead on it. And I was very happy with the results and how the images came, how the keywords, and then the review session of it as well. And she saw it, and then Han as well took a look at it as well. So definitely have multiple eyes on it and see what needs to be updated or whatnot. So it was very seamless work for the listing. And I think that once I saw it, I was like, this is way better than the competition out there. I was very happy with the listing.
Awesome. That's really awesome. We love Susan's work, man. Jeez.
Yeah, I was happy that she provided that service. I have a spreadsheet somewhere that broke it down, but one thing I wasn't prepared for was like, oh man, like marketing. And I understand the process of it, right? You're a product or brand that is like not visible or known to anybody. So marketing is key, right? To get the reach, to get your eyes on your product. So I knew that that was going to play a key role in the success. And when I first launched, dude, like my budget was like $40 per campaign. And then that didn't even last like barely into the morning, right? Like it was like probably a couple hundred up to like 300 or 500, depending on what it is during the weekend, right? But my sales were coming in. So it gave me a good gap to continue to increase my budget to continue the sales. So that was okay. But that was like a little bit eye opener. Like, all right, I gotta make sure I optimize it to save more money. But sales kept coming, so I was maintaining a good ACOS and tacos as well. So overall, like I'm profitable. It's crazy. Right? I didn't think I would be profitable, but like overall, I think overall I'm like under 19% total ACOS. So.
Whoa, that's impressive.
Yeah, so it's pretty great.
Man, that's impressive. Our target is usually 30% or less. But when you at 19, that's impressive.
I was just lucky. But I'm happy. Like I didn't think I would be at that point. But yeah, I think I'm at 8% total ACOS right now.
Oh wow. Was it helpful working with the team to help you get down to that total ad cost of 19%?
They gave me a good baseline with the launch. Once the launch happens, the only thing I did was increase the budget, right? Just to continue the ads. But I didn't really touch it until maybe 3 weeks down the road when I sold out, or maybe 2 weeks down the road after, and I spoke with Han and kind of make some adjustments just to save a little bit, right? Because my organic sales for some of the keywords are up there. So then I don't need to spend so much. So then that's where I can see like how, you invest in the advertisement and then you kind of lower your bids down just to save on it because you're organically ranking. So yeah, they helped out taking a look at my keywords, making sure the bids were optimized 2 weeks later. But yeah, I think overall that helped out a lot.
So just remember, this is a young business. We are in the branding business and marketing business. So we advertise. We need eyeballs. In the branding business, it takes time to build out that goodwill, just like the Nike shirt that you're wearing. The reason why you trust that check is because they've been building it for the last 50 years. And it didn't happen overnight. So just think of your brand as that. The more you build the awareness and the recognition with customers, the more profitable you will get. Because now people are just searching for your name and they would just keep buying. Instead of having to pay for them to come, they would just come naturally. And of course, there's other strategies that we have where they refer a friend and things like that. But just remember right now, the goal is to continue to build your brand ranking up, organic ranking, and of course, the organic traffic. That's how you keep your ad costs down. It's amazing that you're able to do that at 19% though. That's pretty, we are impressed. Yes. Not many people can do that. But as you build your ranking up, ranking on first page, your profit margin is going to increase. Your ad cost is going to drop even more. You have higher margins, and it will just keep going as you continue to invest into your brand. Yeah, so just continue to just optimizing your PPC. Any areas that are bleeding money, just slow it down. Pay attention to those because you don't stop managing your PPC, right?
I was watching that thing like a hawk, seeing like which keywords are getting impressions. Should I increase it because it's not, and because you're spending a lot of money on ads, and you can't just let it go, or else you're just going to bleed out money if you're not going to pay attention to that, especially early on launch, right? Relaunching, probably going to continue to try and build that momentum and then rank again, continue build up that ranking. So I kind of understand. Han gave me a good overview of like what I need to do in terms of at the beginning, right? And then towards maybe down the road, once you're getting sales and you're ranking, then you probably that's where your profits come in towards the end.
And just remember, as you build up this stability in this first product, that's what we want to be, is building the foundation of stability with ranking, organic sales, evergreen ad campaign that just stays constant for you throughout the year. Then you add new products, and then you can then now expand to new products. And of course, advertising cost is going to fluctuate all the time. So it could be 19%, it could go all the way up to 30%. And we always try to manage the traffic that comes in at a very profitable rate. That's your job. So we're in the branding and the advertising business. That's what we are. Yes, we sell products, but we are in that business. And so just continue to manage that. So don't go into a place where you get very, fearful or doubt when your advertising cost goes up. We've been in a situation where our ad costs go up to like 130% because we're launching a new product, right? We're launching a new product. We want to go hard. We want fast. So that could happen. In my past business, when we're really launching fast, we use strategies, not just Amazon, but we use strategies outside. We pay for influencer. We pay for Facebook ads. We pay for TikTok ads. And we do it all at once and blow the ranking up like that, because Amazon is about sales velocity, right? And so how do you drive sales velocity when you have no awareness? Email, so our email database, we do like a pretty much a week-long launch. throughout for like a 1 week campaign of launching aggressively. But you have to spend money for that.
Yeah.
So
And I can see how well it works too, right? Like I'm only doing PPC ads, but I'm sure like the other channels that you mentioned, that's like different paths to build to get customers in, right? Like right now, I'm just trying to keep scale with Amazon, right? And once I can have that stability, then I can jump on to the next one because I have to make sure I have inventory for traffic that's coming in as well, right? But yeah, I totally understand it. Like uh, I think I'm outside the norm because a lot of people are like, hey, I spend a lot on PPC, and I'm like, I think that's the norm, right? Everybody wants to rank up, spend a lot of money, but you have to spend money to get visibility, get eyes on your product because no one knows you, right? So that's what I totally understand. It's like you got to spend money to get people in. So if you have that mentality and understand that, then that's the investment to get the sales.
when I first started, we didn't make any money because we didn't have any eyeballs. That was the challenge. And especially in a space like cell phone cases, competitive, and we had the right product, but we just didn't have the eyeballs. And so when I started doing guerrilla marketing, like just reaching out to influencers, using all kind of strategies, and we didn't have paid ads then, and we added paid ads later, but that was the way we did it. We had to reach out, pay people to market our product for us. They didn't call it influencer marketing at the time, but now that's what it is. We were reaching out to people on YouTube. We just continuing to invest money into getting eyeballs, attention to our product, traffic to our product. And eventually we ranked first page, 2, 3 ranking, and then the sales just going by itself. And that it was amazing. I built a business that pretty much was from nothing for 3 years. It took me 3 years. I didn't make anything. And then after that, we started doing like 20,000 a month, $100,000 a month, $300,000 a month. And next I'm like doing like 15 to $16 million a year. And it took a total of 6 years. So just think of it like you're investing for a long term. Just don't think about it like I need to get rich right now. It's not about that. It's about building something that will last multiple years. And then you can sell it, of course, because I sold the business. Well, but I could still keep the business because the business is still running. They still have 100,000 people on their Facebook page. How are you feeling now with your first sale? Like selling out, actually.
Oh man, like for me, it's like it works, right? Like for me, like okay, I have the proof of concept, it worked. Now it's just more of how do I make sure I feed it and maintain it and think I'm trying to think of ideas on how to bring in more customers, like you mentioned, right? I haven't even touched those channels yet, but for me, it's like if I can continue to be stable with the Amazon and PPC, then I can kind of work on advertising through other means. But right now, I just want to stay stock, get my ranking up, and then use that money to buy more inventory and invest in other channels and continue to keep it growing and feed the business, right? So that's where my mentality is. I need something stable and consistent, and that's what my key focus is, just to make sure I'm moving up and trending up and building this velocity momentum. Because I can see how challenging it is, just inventory management. To be honest with you, I only launched for like a month, right? And now I'm like waiting on the inventory. So it kind of sucks because now you realize how a month and a half or 45 days take to just get your inventory in. For me, I'm happy. I just want to continue to get the sales in and maintain that. So I'm making it a mission not to go out of stock because it sucks.
You don't mind if you can share with us what it looks like on your Amazon account? What caused it to take off?
This didn't capture the launch because I launched a little bit over 30 days, but for the whole year, I'm at 54.
Wow. Yeah, that's awesome.
So I started the first day, I fully launched my PPC. I got like what, 10, 13 sales. And the next day I got 19, hovering at 19, 20 sales and like almost like 2,000 around there per day. As I continued to get sales, my ranking got up. And then I got the new release badge, the number one new release, and that just spiked my sales like crazy, right? And continue the momentum. And then the weekend before I sold out, the day before I sold out, I hit my like 3,500 in sales a day. And I was like, oh man, it sucks. Like you go on this high note of like record sales and then also you go out of stock. The momentum, and I got the number one new release, things like that. It just kind of helped out with the momentum and everything. And I noticed my organic ranking on some of the keywords went up to like maybe number 3, number 2. So then you realize like, hey, like I don't even have to spend much on ads because naturally you're like at the front page already too. That's where I see like how important it is to build the velocity momentum, and then naturally you dial it down on some of the ads, and then the sales will start coming in. That's when you get profit, right?
Absolutely no. But you're right about that. Just gotta build up. And at the end of the day, it's all about building up that organic ranking. And we'll have other strategies that we're gonna share with you to build outside for more organic ranking, more organic sales, and that's gonna drive all that eyeballs to your listing.
Yeah, and I looked at my competitors. I'm like, why is this person doing like 10 times more than me? And then you kind of like, all right, they're advertising through Google ads and things like that. Cause I was like searching them and like they pop up right in Google. So I'm like, Google ads might be something that I want to dive into as well down the road. But yeah, I'm like, then you start checking out competitors and like, why are they doing better, right? They don't have a social media page, they don't have this, but they're selling like hundreds of thousands a month. And their product is like similar to mine, if not mine is better. Right. So you kind of have to kind of do research. You can't just sit back and be like, hey, this is cool. You can't settle, right? You got to look at why other people are doing better and then figure that out, right?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Was it able to pay back the investment?
So my first batch of inventory was 15,000. I think selling out, I got in revenue was about over 50,000, but then you kind of take out the ads, all the ad costs and everything, are probably over 25, maybe 25, maybe 30 around there. I could be wrong. I haven't kind of done the whole math yet, but man, I live in California, man. So in my head, I'm like, they're going to take a chunk out of it as well. So it's going to suck. That's why I'm like, man, I told my wife, like, maybe one day I'll just go to like Texas or Vegas or something. At least I don't have to pay state income for that, right?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, but in
You're right.
California, it just sucks, man. That you get all the margin getting eaten up by everything.
Oh, so you haven't done the math yet, so you're not sure
I,
yet.
I did it, but it was one of the things like, all right, I gotta sit down and do. But I think at least 20K. Yeah, 20K for sure.
Yeah, how was your wife's reaction to that though?
She was happy, and then she sees me like, "Why are you checking your phone all the time?" I'm like, "Babe, look this." So like crazy. The thing that hit me was like when you wake up in the morning and you got already sales. It's like, man, it's crazy to have that feeling. Like, oh, wake up, I got 5 sales already. Like, that's pretty awesome, right? But yeah, my wife was really happy. She's surprised, and now she's all like, "Oh, that's crazy. Like this and your product." Like she asked about here and there, but then she just couldn't imagine like, man, like you didn't do anything. We just hung out during the weekend and you start getting sales. Like that's the ultimate goal. So I'm gonna continue to strive for that.
Has she got more support with everything
Oh,
that you're doing now?
oh yeah, she's always supportive. I think she can definitely tell like I'm less stressed after launching. She's like, I noticed that you're more happy or you're less stressed because she knows like I'm always up late at night trying to work on when the kids are sleeping is when you actually be able to work, right? So I spent time at night kind of talking to suppliers and working off the Amazon business. But now she noticed the change in me and like, hey, you're less stressed. I noticed that. So she's happy
Dude,
with
that's
that.
awesome. That's so awesome. Yeah, just seeing all the hard work paid off, and then she's giving you like the excitement. She's seeing the results, and she's supporting, and all that support also pays off because some people
Yeah.
don't have that support.
Yeah. And for me, like I don't like I haven't even told like a lot of people only because like I want to succeed and do well and then kind of then I'll share the news. But for me, I had a good launch, but my success is when you really stabilize things and have everything going, right? So that's what I'm trying to work for and strive for to maintain it. And that's the key for me right now is learning too, because like there's a lot of things in terms of expanding and whatnot that I haven't learned yet. I want to get to that point as well.
Was there a lot of motivation for you to start doing something like this? Because not a lot of people want to do stuff like this. It's hard.
I think what pushed me is like I was tired of the grind at work. And I noticed my frustration level and like with the kids too, right? I'm not dialed in with them because I'm like looking at my phone, emails, things come in, and I'm always like worried about work. And I don't like that because for me, it's like I'm taking away the time that I should be focused on them. I think that's what drove me is because I have 3 kids, right? And they're growing so quickly. Sometimes you kind of take a moment, you look at them and like, man, like I feel bad, right? You have work and you shouldn't take work with you after at the end of the day, but you do because I'm worried about the projects and the meetings, timeline, things like that. And that's when I'm like, all right, I need something more passive. Regular investments is fine, but it's a little bit slower, right? Those are for retirement and those are not going to get you to where you need to go. So Amazon was something that I would look at, to be honest with you, for over a year or two, but everything looks so scammy, to be honest with you. Like it's hard to find out who's legit or who's not. And you look at Reddit reviews and things like that, and you're like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. But you guys showed up and then I saw you. And then I to be honest with you, I was looking at the SHIFU class for probably like, well, 4 or 5 months. And I connected with Justin and Chris. And then Justin, you sent me a message maybe early in September, but I still didn't pull the trigger until like December because I got to talk to my wife. I'm like, man, we got to pull out, see if we can invest this much in the business and whatnot. So we finally was able to, I'm like, let's just do this because this is a good opportunity. And if anything, I can learn from it as well, right? Fail or success, either way you learn something, right? And that's how I had to approach it. Not put everything in the basket and be like, hey, if I fail, then I'm done, right? No, you learn. Yeah, if you don't succeed, you still continue to learn and improve. Like with my kids and whatnot, I didn't like it. Like I didn't like the time that I'm stripping away from them with work. right? And that's what I think I got to make the switch and get back my time with them and be laser focused on them. That's why I took the jump. It's really for the kids, man. And I just want to make sure their lives are good and they continue to grow and learn, and I'm there to support them. So that's what drove me to start with you guys. It's not fun, to be honest with you, but I like the Amazon learning part of it. A lot of work is in the front end, like you guys mentioned. And then after you launch, you're just more maintaining it, making sure that you can maintain it and grow. But that part right now is fun because I'm doing okay. I'm still learning, and that's what I'm enjoying right now. Hopefully, I can continue this. The next batch comes in maybe another couple weeks, and then I can kickstart this over again and not sell out. So that's the key here, is just to not sell out.
That's awesome, man. You got to know why you're doing something. Some people hate their job so much they forget why they hate their job. And then they forget that, hey, it's taking away time from my kids. You don't think about it because you're like, I'm just going to go do whatever I need to do. Relax, go get drunk, go sleep it away.
You truly are programmed, right? Like right when you're little to work. I think, and that's normal, right? Like, I think I'm programmed like that until I realized, like, man, I don't like doing this. I realized that when I start having kids, it's like, I don't like doing this. You kind of, because you don't think about it, right? You think this is just it's so routine that you're like, okay, I'm just going to go to work. Like every day, I wake up, do the same routine, and just like the same cycle all the time. And then, hey, out of the year, you get like what, couple weeks to take off. And then now you realize like this is just robbing you of your time, right? So that's when I think really, if I didn't have kids, I might not even see it. But now that I have kids, I'm like, usually after work, when you don't have kids, veg out and you kind of relax, watch TV or whatever, and then you start the cycle again. But with kids, you're like, no, I can't do this anymore. And I didn't like the person that I am because of I'm not focused on them. And that's when I really like, okay, I gotta do something to kind of buy back my time with them. So this is a good start. I hope that I can build this to a point where I can overtake my regular job, and then I can just focus on them and my family. So that's the key.
So what are some of the legacy mindset going through this journey with us that you can transfer to your kids?
Oh man, it definitely changed. The whole Asian, when you grow up, you be a doctor, lawyer, crap, like things like that. Like that's not something I would tell my kids now. But I definitely want them to pursue something that is happy, that they'll make them happy, of course. They're gonna understand that, hey, dude, like in life, you're gonna support yourself. And one's gonna really help. I mean, they're gonna find people who will help you along the way, but at the end of the day, it's on you, right? I want them to take control of their life, right? Like either start a business, be your own boss, things like that. So you build a foundation that you can grow with the right people, then you have your own time, right? Like your time is not building someone else's dream, you're building your own dream, right? Either you work for someone and you build their dream, or you build your own dream. So that's the thing that I would tell them is like, hey, you have control over it. You can work for someone else, but you'll be a slave to them, right? But for me right now is just, I would definitely recommend them just to get that feeling of customers. And when you have that knowledge and you're ready, I would say start a business, build something on your own with the right people and connect with people, because that's key, because there's always going to be someone who knows more than you and you learn off of them as well. And for me, I'm always there, but yeah, definitely I don't want to just give them like a free for the life, right? I won't learn any real life skills or be able to survive. But yeah, I'm sure in a year, my perspective will change as well. I'm in this new mindset of being a business owner and figuring that out right now. That path looks very bright, and I'm going to continue that.
So after working with us, joining the program and learning from us, if you had to start over, would you do it again?
Yeah, I would probably do it again. Yeah. Like right now, I'm just in my mind, it's like, once I get this stable, what's the next thing, right? Like I'm always gonna think about like, well, like the downtime that I have right now, what am I supposed to do? Like build my website, do this. But yeah, I would definitely probably do it again. I like the control of things. It's kind of weird. Like, and I tell a lot of mentees, like, this is your business. You have control over the decision making. It's kind of odd, right? It's kind of weird to be on the flip side. Usually you're like working for a corporate or whatever, they're telling you what the priorities are, but your business is your priorities. What do you want to focus on? What do you want to allocate money to? What do you want to expand to? Those things are not. So that's exciting things too for me, is like I'm able to control, make my own decisions. And connecting with people is great because you get guidance and help. And that's also an important factor in it. But at the end of the day, it's you get all the information you have from other people, and then you make your own decisions. And that's what I actually really like. Yeah. You're your own boss.
You control your destiny. Yeah.
You have those days where you're like, I'm tired. Like I'm not in the mood to work. I'm just going to maybe work half day and relax. And those are the things that I like to to be able to control. And generally, when you work for corporate or whatever, you don't have that flexibility, right? Yeah.
Consistency is never a straight line up. It's a small little squiggle, like the stock market, right? It's just
Yeah.
squiggly upward.
It won't ever, yeah, it won't go through all the way up the time. But for you, yeah, for us, it's like just it's like the mindset, right? Like you don't want to get lost in being stagnant and whatnot. For me, like when I'm now that I've sold out, I'm like, what can I do? I'm trying to work on my reviews, build my, Shopify website, things like that, and then kind of prepare. Like, okay, I bought my first batch, but I'm going to order another one just to make sure I have consistent inventory coming in, things like that. So there's always things that you can kind of think about doing, and that's all mindset, right? Like people can kind of, well, I'm making money, I'm just going to sit back, relax, and do the same thing, but then you'll just be stable, right? You got to continue to work.
Stagnant, yeah. You want to be stagnant. You don't want to be, because if you don't grow, you end up dying like a tree. A tree never stays still. A tree always grows through the hardship and the good times. Like during drought, tree rings grow very slowly, and you see it in a tree. And during a good year, dude, it grows fast.
Yeah. So you see, once you cut it, you kind of see like the slow years now, but then it's continued growth, right? And that's what you're looking for.
When you talk about a good year, explosive. So that means when you're through this challenge, this journey that you're in, understand that there's going to be times that are hard, and then when the good time comes, you're exploding. Like it's going to be like 10x and explosive. Man, we're so proud of you. Dude, you're like the head of your family. You're the man that shows up, and that teaches a lot for your kids. Like for me, I'm always trying to be the best father, the best man, the best husband for my children, trying to be a best example. You really showing that, especially for your son, man, because now he sees a good example.
I tell him here and there, he's like, what are you doing? Like, what are you selling? And he sees all this random part, like inventory come in, and he asks, and he's like, oh, Dad, how many did you sell? Blah, blah, blah. Yes, it's cool to share with him. I mean, he might be too young to understand the whole thing, but I do share with him, and he's like, oh, cool. So when you sell, like, can we celebrate or something like that?
That's awesome. And you can teach him these skills. You can, like, what are something that you can transfer to him right now and to your kids?
Yeah.
Everything, right?
Yeah, but you keep it simple, but you're telling them like, hey, I'm starting something. There's millions of people in this world that wants to buy every day, right? Like my wife and I were sitting down and we're like, hey, Jeff Bezos makes like 6K a second, right? Like he averages like 6K a second, which is crazy. And like every click, someone's making money. So you kind of break it down and that grows. You kind of teach them a little bit here and there and kind of understand how the world works, how the economy and how customers, how psychological aspect of it and whatnot. So. Yeah, it's nice. Good teaching moments. The teaching moments.
And what are some of the most valuable things in the program that you learn?
Oh man, there's so many aspects of it. But for me, like I think the driving factor is one thing, right? Well, a couple of things. One is you gotta understand what you're doing it for, right? And you can't give up. Like I think a lot of people jump in this and be like, hey, you see the end goal, then result, but like you got to put in the how do you get there is actually really key. For me, I think being able to connect with people and work together and talk, I think it really drives me to go all the way through. I think if I didn't connect with some of the people here, I probably wouldn't have launched yet, or maybe it would delay my launch a little bit. I knew I was going to go through with it, whether it's a successful launch or not. I knew I wanted to go through with it just to show that, hey, I started something, I'm going to finish it. And then for me, it's just the connection with the people is really, I was very happy with the people I met in this community. Really drove me to push myself forward. And it actually make me help them in return as well. So, because I knew like that knowledge is super valuable when I learned from your team, as well as my own learning on my own and connecting with people. And I can see like how their mental state were. And for me, helping them gave me like some gratitude. Helping them succeed as well. So we're all in it together. And I think that's what makes it a little bit easier, more enjoyable.
That's awesome, man. Anything we can do for you right now on your relaunch that we can help you out with? Any questions you might have to support so we can support you? Anything?
I don't have anything major. I think I might stick with the same game plan for the relaunch in terms of ads. I think down the road, I just more scalability. Like once I become stable, I think there's a couple of videos up about how to get more reach, like with Shopify, Instagram, kind of influencer marketing, things like that. Right now, I think those are probably going to be the questions that I would want to help down the road. But for now, I think I'm going to stick to the same game plan with my launch, similar to how I launch. And when I relaunch, it's going to be something pretty similar for now. And see, I'm trying to build that momentum up. But I think down the road, where I want to be is more on increasing my sales, increasing my visibility. And those are the things that I don't know yet, like other channels, right? How to build through other channels. That's what I'm still green on, right? I know that Shopify and other ways to boost up sales, those are things that I don't know outside of Amazon. Those are things I'm still green not. I was trying to learn, but it's a lot.
Do you have like a 3-year plan? You can have a plan to sell the business, or you can have a plan to grow the business. There's two
I
ways,
think
right? Yeah.
I want to build it to a point where if selling is something that is possible.
I built a business that was worth in 2016 $32 million. Is from a valuation company that we hired for the sale. And the truth is, if I had kept it, it'd probably be worth double. But anyway, COVID didn't happen. Remember that. So add that into your objective, what that may be, right? What that goal may be, and work backward. If you need to pay yourself $80,000 a year, what is that? How does that profit? How much sales do you generate? That's the goal. Like, how much sale do you generate off of that? Does it so work backwards that way so that you can have a overarching goal for the next year?
Down the road, exiting it with all the hard work is probably the best path that you want.
A lot of Amazon business, they're getting like 5 to 7x on after taxes. You just say that after everything, the profit that you keep in is 5 to 7x off of that business, and then you can collect that cash.
All right, I hope you're able to enjoy today's video. And remember, this is going to be part 1. We still have part 2 coming, and the reason why I have to cut it short because it's a little bit long. The second part going to be talking about how my mentor Charlie shared about how he able to build and sold his $16 million a year with the $32 million evaluation, so that you guys can be able to build a legacy brand for yourself. And the ultimate goal, I want to remind you guys, the ultimate goal for you guys when it's come to building a brand on Amazon, this is not drop shipping, this is not reselling. We are building a brand for ourselves that come with current cash flow on a monthly. Number 2 is going to have an enterprise value that you can sell. And a good example, just like a piece of real estate. Your listing on Amazon is going to be a piece of real estate that other investors want to buy in for the monthly cash flow and the brand enterprise. And that's how you're going to be able to achieve your financial freedom. And many people right now, you may think that going to school is going to be the best option for you. But like I shared with you, AI is taking over a lot of jobs. The job that you have right now, the next 5 years, is not going to be possible. And that's why you want to start your business today. And that's why we're going to be hosting a live workshop. I'll see you in the live workshop. Register down in the video description. It's completely free, where you're going to be learning from me and bring a lot of questions. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Justin Lee Hancho, and feel free to DM me on Instagram if you have any question and if you want to learn about all the resources that I have available. Peace for now, guys, and I'll see you in part 2. Subscribe now, okay? Peace.